First of all, growth is not dead. Let's start with underlying growth in actual companies. Like we have if you look at Q2 of 2023, Insight had 180 portfolio companies that grew north of 50% in Q2 of 2023 over Q2 of 2022. In what are clearly a more macro challenge environment than we had maybe a few years ago. So the underlying growth in companies is still there. Now that's separate from where's the growth market as it relates to new investment. And like many people, our pace is down dramatically. We have done new deals this year, but many fewer than we did in 22, many fewer than we did in 21. But I think that the one thing I would just point out is if you look at 21 and 22, there was a lot of Series A and Series B investments that got done. And when a company gets funded Series A, Series B, and Jason can talk about this with more authority than me, you're not typically funding a company for 3 to 5 years. You're funding a company for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, so kind of the next proof point. And so as we kind of get to the beginning of 24, you're going to naturally have companies that are going to need to raise capital. And some of them are going to have executed reasonably well, notwithstanding the environment. And what will happen is they'll raise capital. They just might not raise capital at the price they want to raise it at. And so I don't anticipate the growth market being dead. It's definitely the pace is going to be dramatically lower in 23. I don't know that we'll see 21 pace anytime soon or if ever. But I also think that, and this is one of the things we talk about internally, particularly when we're talking to the team, this market is probably closer to reality than 21 was. And the pace of actually being able to spend time with companies, build relationships with management teams, take them out to dinner, see how they do over the course of 6 months is really what this business always used to be. And I think is what this business will go back to being. And so I'm actually, while obviously we'll talk later about what happened in 21, I'm optimistic that we'll get to a reasonable place from a pace standpoint, because I still think there's a lot of really interesting companies out there that are growing.